Friday's kind of become a bit of a Q&A day for us. So people will give us questions and we provide videos and other correspondence to answer those questions, to shed some light on what's going on with fibromyalgia. Now, this one's based on a question that I've gotten quite a lot, both from people suffering from fibromyalgia, but from quite a variety of practitioners. And it hits kind of close to home. So here's the question of the day. Why did you choose to specialize in fibromyalgia? So, why indeed? This one's charged. Why choose such a difficult condition? Why choose something that so many practitioners have struggled with? Or why choose a condition that frustrates so many doctors? And it's a good sentiment, I understand it. It's very complex, and it's not an easy answer. At least it wasn't at first. And to be honest, it wasn't the first thing that I chose. Honestly, when I was younger, I really just wanted answers more than anything else. I recall as a child seeing chronic pains in my family, amongst my family members, seeing chronic fatigue, listening to people talk about how much they heard with weather changes, for example, and how bad their digestion was. And when I was younger, I didn't have a clue what fibromyalgia was. I hadn't realized that I had multiple family members suffering from this. But I saw the impact. I saw the impact on their lives. I saw the impact on our family. How it impacted the ones around them, their lives, the ones they loved. And I saw this. I saw them suffering, some of them for 20 or 30 years or even more. And I just knew, as a youngster, that I didn't want that. I didn't want to live like that myself. I wouldn't want that for anybody. And of course, I got older and I started suffering as well. I started suffering from chronic headaches and migraines. I had a really nasty car accident when I was in my teenage years, and this led to a lot of pain in my neck, right? Pain that went into my arms, into my back, my legs. I started suffering from chronic fatigue, sleep troubles, digestive troubles, some emotional troubles. It was very hard. At one point I consumed, a bottle of acetaminophen every month. And of course, that caused more digestive troubles, caused liver problems. It was terrible. But I continued to ask why. Why do I have these things? And why do some others not have them? What's going on there? What's causing these issues? Years later, I began to work for this big hospital network down in North Carolina. And at that time, I was really specializing in neck problems. And I was amazing at it. I was very good. And I loved it. I really loved helping people with their neck problems. But in that area, in that particular part of the country, fibromyalgia was extremely rampant. So I started, by extension, treating some people with fibromyalgia. Usually I just start with the neck. So that's what I knew. I really knew what I was doing there. And I got the chance to meet a lot of other doctors as well. They would refer people to me. I would meet with neurologists or medical doctors, rheumatologists. And something I noticed over and over again, something I heard a lot of them say, when they hear about what I was doing, they'd say, "Oh, you work with fibromyalgia? I've been looking for someone to send my fibromyalgia patients to. We don't know what else to do for them." And these were not bad doctors. I mean, actually, they were extremely intelligent and extremely caring and compassionate people. And it was amazing. It wasn't this picture that some people try to paint about doctors being, uncaring or being pill pushers. It was far from that. These doctors were incredible. They truly cared about people, but they just didn't know what else to do. They didn't have time. They didn't have the tools. And they hated pushing drugs on people. They knew what these drugs do. They knew how bad the side effects were and how terrible it was for some people getting off these drugs. I mean, some people would get side effects from the drugs, but then when they tried to get them off, to wean them off these drugs, it would be even worse. I mean, they would get sick just trying to eliminate these drugs. It's like they would have the flu. They would be hurting everywhere. But then taking the drug, they would also get side effects. I remember a very, very specific lady with fibromyalgia. She was so sweet, and she had this unbelievably kind heart. And I met with her, and she was just in tears talking with me about what was going on. And she was worried about losing her job. She had already gone down to working part-time, and she was just completely struggling to work. She was in constant pain. She was just exhausted. Her marriage was suffering. Her home life was hurting. Her family was hurting because of it as well. And she just wasn't having joy in life. That's what life is about. Being happy, having joy. I worked with her for about 4 months. And it was amazing. Her life completely changed. She got to working full time again, and she just loved her job. She absolutely loved it. She worked with patients, so she enjoyed this. So it gave her a great sense of fulfillment. So being able to work full time again was great. It was a sense of contribution, not only to her community, but to her family. And she started getting more active. She started raving about spending more time with her kids and her grandkids. She enjoyed more time with her husband. She really just got her life back. And every day she was in this state of gratitude and joy. And this totally turned a light on for me. So I love helping people. Of course, I love helping them with neck issues. I love helping them with the arthritis in their knees. But helping somebody completely alter the course of their life is amongst the most incredible feelings I've ever felt. And I thought about it this past weekend. I was out hiking with my sons, and we came upon like a little body of water, like a little lake. And true to form, my boys, they love to grab rocks and throw them in there. And it was very, very calm outside. The water was just static. It wasn't moving at all. And one of my sons cast a stone, like a little rock, out into this water. And I just kind of watched it. And I watched the ripple effect of this tiny little rock. And pretty soon, those ripples had to have a diameter of 40 or 50 feet. And it was completely mesmerizing. It was like this meditative state, watching these ripples grow out further and further and further. And it just made me think very deeply about this. That what effect does it have when I smile at somebody who's had a bad day? What effect does it have when I get some random person completely out of their normal day-to-day thought process, and to smile and laugh because I told them something goofy, something that they didn't expect? I do this anytime I go out to a restaurant. Our server comes up and they're good. They come and talk to you whenever, they give you the smile and everything. But to some extent, it's just kind of day in, day out business. So I like to say something that will catch them off guard, that will get them thinking, that will get them to smile and laugh, because it changes their state and it puts them in this mood. I love to get them to laugh. What effect does it have to wait a few extra seconds and hold the door for somebody who has their hands full, to just some random act of kindness? Like, what does it do to their state? And then they bring that state out into the rest of the world. And then I ask myself, what effect does it have to completely alter the course of somebody's life? To go from daily pain and fatigue into this just constant state of misery, to a state of high energy and joy and happiness and gratitude. And then what happens to their children, their spouse, and all the people's lives that they touch every day? Friends, family, the random people that they encounter. What do those ripples look like in their life and into the rest of the world? That is why I've chosen fibromyalgia, because some of the best and brightest out there haven't. Because it was too much or too time consuming for others to bear. I asked, who is going to go to bat for these people? Who is going to trailblaze that path? And to me, this makes the answer, it becomes the easiest decision I can make. When I see a group of people who need that help, and for some reason, there isn't good help out there. For me, it's an easy choice. And for the past 10 years, that's what I've dedicated my life to. And I haven't regretted it, not once. Thank you, everybody, for listening. That was an emotionally charged one for me. I really appreciate the kind words that people have sent in. We appreciate the support. I appreciate people sending in questions, for the very kind-hearted comments that we've gotten from people. Please have a great weekend. Tell your families, your friends, those you love, that you love them, that you are grateful for them. And if you do need guidance, if you do need to look at what steps you can take to combat fibromyalgia and turn things around, we've put together a webinar specifically for you